Hey guys, Sue here. Today we're talking about colouring in. Have you guys ever noticed how many colouring in books there are on sale these days? Colouring books are more popular than ever. They're everywhere on the shelves in the local Kmart and Target. They're full of Star Wars, Disney princesses, DC and Marvel comics. Crayons and coloured pencils have always been a must-have for kids, and I'm guessing you've still got some at home as well. But kids aren't the only one to enjoy colouring these days. Did you know that adult colouring books have become a real thing as well? Adults colour everything from classic works of art to fancy designs to images from their favourite movies. And you know what's really silly, kids? Adult colouring in books cost 10 times more than a kid's colouring book. Instead of paying $1 or $2 for a kid's book, we're paying $10 to $20. That's ridiculous. Adults like colouring for so many reasons, and a lot of the same reasons as kids do. It's creative, it's fun, it's a way to relax, and it's a way to enjoy yourself. For kids though, colouring is more than just play. It's a way to learn your fine motor skills with your fingers. And what's the one thing people tell you when you learn to colour in? That's right, you've got to stay inside the lines. When you stay inside the lines, you can create a finished work of art that looks the way it's supposed to look. Cinderella's dress might be blue, her hair might be blonde, the Hulk is green, Spider-Man might be red and blue, and Smurfs are definitely blue. And when you colour them in beautifully and no marks on the outside, it looks awesome. Well, colouring inside the lines is an important skill to learn. But once you learn to colour inside the lines, do you think it's wrong to colour outside the lines as well? Putting it another way, is it okay to colour outside the lines if doing so can create an even more beautiful work of art? I wonder. Well, today's story is about a time that Jesus decided to colour outside the lines. It's a story that challenges us to look beyond the rules and at the big picture and do things which are right for others. In the book of Exodus, God gave people the 10 Commandments, and we looked at those last term. One of those was not to work on the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. The Sabbath was God's chosen day for rest and worship. And for us, that day is usually Sundays, where we come to church, we worship God, we sing his praises, and we thank him for everything that he gives us. Well, back in Jesus' day, some of the religious leaders had added on to that rule that God gave them. They made a long list of additional stuff that was and wasn't work on the Sabbath. Jesus got in trouble not for breaking God's rule, but for breaking the rules that the men had made. The religious leaders were angry at Jesus for stepping outside the lines they'd created, but Jesus was looking at the bigger picture. He didn't disobey God's command, he obeyed the greater command to love others. So following Jesus sometimes means we need to be people who focus on the big picture as well. So people who aren't afraid to step outside the lines and do what's right. Now, I'm not saying that Jesus is teaching us to be random rule breakers. The rules Jesus broke were not God's commands, but rules that the men made up, because they weren't looking at things through God's eyes. Keeping the Sabbath wasn't about how many steps you took in a day or what activities you performed or how you didn't work. It was about pausing to reflect on everything good that God has done for us. Taking time off from work doesn't mean that we take time off from loving other people. That's why Jesus healed the man who needed healing. He also healed the woman who needed healing, which is the story that we're looking at today. He put people ahead of man-made rules, and he obeyed the commandment to love his neighbour as himself. So today, I hope that we have a look at this story, we read the Bible, we do the activities, and we learn to be thinking about the bigger picture, about what God wanted us to do, not what the rules tell us to do. Okay, I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.